Hello, everyone. Welcome to Purpose with Porter. We are so happy to join all of you tonight. We are here with our own Pastor Porter, and we will get this party started.
Oh, looks like I have some mail. Thank you very much. It's a letter. It says, Dear Pastor Porter, congratulations on the organization and formulation of the Impact Academy. When I initially learned of Impact Academy, I immediately went to www.impactchurchnow.org and chose the Impact Academy tab to read all I could to learn more about this awesome entity that seeks to provide exceptional educational development. Although the website was informative, I have so many questions pertaining to how the Academy came to be, what's been accomplished so far, and what the future plans of Impact Academy entails. Please advise as to how myself and others can help to ensure that this great endeavor is supported, stabilized, and publicized. God bless Impact Academy, its founders, and its futures. That is so cool. And so if somebody happens to be online tonight and these are your questions and you have the same questions and you want to inquire about the Impact Academy, you are in the right place tonight. And perhaps you should you should share, you should subscribe, and you should text persons and let them know that this is a great time to come on and to learn more about the Impact Academy. And so I'm grateful tonight to be on what we call Purpose with Porter. And I'm on tonight with all of the founders of the Impact Academy so that you all can learn more about what the Impact Academy is, how it came into existence, how good it's doing so far, or how bad it's doing for that matter, but we know it's doing good. And also how great the future is looking and the great things that God has in store for the Impact Academy. So I want to start by allowing all of the founders to introduce themselves. And so, ladies, if you would just introduce yourselves and let everybody know who you are.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Webster. I currently work for the Department of Transportation. I am an internal auditor. I also have my master's degree in community mental health, and I am the director of protocol for Impact Church International, as well as one of the 5 founders.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ivory Smith. I am one of the founders of Impact Academy. By day, I'm an educator, and I've been in education for 16 years. By night, I'm a business owner, and I spend a lot of time with these beautiful women, developing and founding and working on bringing Impact Academy to life. I have a master's degree in curriculum and instruction and undergraduate degree in education, and I'm so glad to be a part of this journey with Impact Church and Impact Academy.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Nicole Woodson. I am a former teacher, school social worker, and middle school principal. I have a master's degree in social work. I currently work as a network success manager for an educational nonprofit organization where I consult with administrators and teachers in high schools to help them improve systems, structures, and processes so that we can ensure positive outcomes for students. I have been in education for over 2 decades. I'm not going to tell my age. I come from a family of educators, and I know that this is my calling.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Samara, and I'm a proud co-founder of Impact Academy. I'm a grateful mom and wife, and I currently serve as the Impact Church International Administrator and also the New England Tri-State Worship Arts Ministry Administrator. I'm also one of the church's Shift Dance Ministry members and an Impact Kids team and youth teacher. By day, I'm an accountant, and I work in the family division of a real estate development company. And I've been in the industry for almost 20 years now. But my passion and outside of work is youth. Everything that I do outside of my job is youth. And I'm thankful for my career that allows me to do these things.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I am a licensed board certified behavior analyst. I work for a private school working with kids with special needs with autism. I have a master's in special education. With Impact Church, I am a minister in training. I am also a part of the Shift Dancers. I do Media Wave with my husband, Jeremy, and I am the youth director as well. I am so happy and excited to be here with you all tonight, and I am one of the founders of Impact Academy.
All right, thank you all so much. So great to meet everybody and to know who everybody is. And so one of the things that we were thinking about as we were preparing for this Q&A is Impact Church is a very young church. It just turned a year old, and Impact Academy is even younger than Impact Church. And so we're trying to figure out if we just started a church and that's going, how could someone have the audacity and faith to also start an academy? Where did the idea come from? How did this start? And because I know the answer, I'm going to ask Jennifer Pickett to answer, because I think she can give some brevity to that.
So yes, Impact Academy has come out of a brand new church, and I know how crazy that sounds. When God put that on my heart, I thought it was crazy. Like, I was telling no one. This all started in like March. I felt that God was like, there has to be something for these kids. Like, I have 3 younger little kids. I know Pastor has kids. A lot of our members have kids, and we're not getting the quality education that we need to. You guys know how it was a mess when the pandemic started, and the live lessons, and just kids were falling behind. So I was praying about it, and I talked to one of my sisters, Whitney. We were talking together over ice cream, and she was like, Impact needs a school. And I was like, Lord, maybe this idea isn't crazy. Maybe this, like, this is something. So I called Nicole, and I was like, Nicole, God gave me something. You're going to think I'm crazy. And I don't know how we're going to go to Pastor, because like we're not even 6 months old, and I'm about to go to him with this. Like, come on, I don't know. And she said, Jen, we can do this. Like, just trust, like, we can do this. So we went to Pastor. We came up with a plan. The Lord put on my heart these 4 ladies, and we took off from there. It was a process, but we have been able to do so much, what Nicole is going to talk about. But when it's God's will, it's going to happen. If we think it's too much or not, he had it all planned out. And when we went to Pastor, he said absolutely. And he said God had told him this a long time ago. So it was all according to his will.
Awesome. So with that being said, Impact Academy is not even a year old. So how old is Impact Academy?
Impact Academy, we started in March. We started planning, but we launched our first tutoring session in October. So the thing with Impact is that it's very young, but we have done so much in that time, and we each bring something different to Impact Academy. You hear all the different backgrounds, but if it wasn't for each of these ladies, we wouldn't be where we are. So although we are starting with tutoring, our ultimate goal is to open a school.
Awesome. And so with that being said, somebody tell me, when you look at the last quarter of 2020, which is, I guess, encompasses the existence of Impact Academy, how has it gone? It looks like you guys have a quarter at least to have taken some kind of notes or at least recommendations on how things have been going and observe how things have been going. How had the last quarter gone with Impact Academy? The last quarter of the year, the first quarter for Impact Academy ever.
Okay, so I'll answer that question. To piggyback on what Jen was saying, actually, we are younger than that. We actually started in August. Jen had the idea, I guess, in her mind in March, but she started moving on her vision in August. And so in August is when she reached out to me, and then Jen and I reached out to you, Pastor Porter. So we have not been together for a long time. So we actually started in August, and we have accomplished a tremendous amount of tasks. I believe the other founders would agree with me when I say that this process has been a true testament to how God truly is and how he has blessed us in accomplishing our goals and even at times over exceeding our own thoughts and ideas. Throughout this whole quarter, we were able to provide tutoring to grades K through 8 on the subjects in ELA, history, and STEM on a 1-to-1, 100% virtual experience. And the most important part of all of this is that we were able to do it free of charge to everyone that registered for the tutoring sessions. Now, our process, we created and executed a very detailed process in how we obtained our tutors by holding interviews, requiring background checks, having tutor orientations to discuss everything from signups to having prayer with each scholar prior to each session that they held. We also had a parent orientation to discuss what was expected from each scholar, but also from our parents, with the intentions of building a connection, not only for our scholars, but with our parents, because it takes a village. We created detailed policies and documentations that were given to both tutors and parents. We had a book bag giveaway. We had a toy drive this Christmas. We even launched the Impact Academy website with details of all of our information about Impact Academy and how to sign up. And of course, we had a photo shoot. And then we started planning all of this, like I said, in August. And by October, we launched officially. And now here we are, just 5 ladies who took a vision and ran with it, with God leading us the whole way through.
That is awesome. That's awesome. And I know it's all true, but that's what, somebody's watching and somebody's like, that's what people say when they start something, they tell you all of the good stuff, right? But another thing I appreciate about what you guys have done is you've just released some surveys. And so in light of what you've said about yourselves, the surveys give opinion to what others say about you. And so my next question is, what is the result of those surveys? What do those surveys say about Impact Academy?
So that survey is our SEL survey, which stands for Social and Emotional Learning. So what that is we have been tutoring for the first quarter, and we know social and emotional learning is so important for our scholars. So we don't call them students, we call them scholars. And we were very intentional on that. And with that, the survey was to look at, we just sent it to parents and we sent it to our scholars to look at what do they want to learn more about. Mindfulness, kindness, empathy, affirmations such as positive thoughts, cultural awareness, respect. And from that, we're going to be starting enrichment groups. And what enrichment groups are like a program that will be outside of like the academic programming. And what we'll be doing is teaching on those topics and being able to better equip our scholars to how to deal with everything, especially in this pandemic and the racial injustices that are happening, how to deal with it and letting them know there is an outlet. So we thought that was really important to look into and to work with our families with, because I know they're doing it in school, but as we know, some of our classrooms are not diverse and that we need another outlet for our youth. So that is what our social emotional learning survey that went out, and that will be coming within the next couple of quarters, those enrichment groups. So please look forward to that.
Nice. So I hear you guys talk a lot about scholars. And so we're learning that scholars mean students, that at Impact Academy, every student is referred to as a scholar. And I appreciate that. And I'm sure that those who are watching appreciates it too. And we see that you've done a great deal to ensure that every scholar receives exactly what they can in the absolute best and to learn in excellence. But I also heard Nicole say earlier that in addition to what you expect from the scholars, you also expect something from their parents. And so if that's the case, then my next question would be, I heard what you do for the scholars, but what are you doing for parents? And so is Impact Academy doing anything for the parents?
That's a really good question, Pastor. And we know as founders that without the support of our parents, we really wouldn't have our program. We really value our partnerships with our families, and we know, like Jen mentioned, we know how difficult educating our children, our scholars have been for parents since the pandemic started, with parents trying to figure out, what is the safest and best way for my family to really get my child back in school, whether that's thinking about hybrid or remote learning or letting them go back in person. That's also figuring out that homework that they're coming home with, either from in person or via Zoom, and you're not there to sit in the classes with them. So when they come home with that homework, you're struggling with them through that homework as well. So we know that these are very difficult times for our families. But no matter what question, challenge, or concern that our families have, they know they can come to us. So what we have been offering are these one-to-one sessions where families can come and speak with the founders, and we really act as thought partners with them to help solve problems. So during these sessions, we give advice, we help solve problems, and we also connect families with resources from the discussions that we're having. So that's what we've been doing.
Mhm.
Something that I'm really excited that we're starting to plan are these parent workshops. And with our parent workshops, we're in the process right now of designing what those would be. Some of the workshops are definitely going to have an academic feel to it. So we will want to partner with educators and bring them in to help facilitate conversations with parents on how do you best support your child academically, and giving them tips and tricks on how to do that depending on the grade level. And then also I remember when my son came home and he had to get on these different programs, and I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to figure all this out? I wish I had a tutorial. So we're also going to be giving tutorials to parents on Zoom, on Google Classroom. How do you interact with these things? iReady, Khan Academy. There's so many of them that are out there that the schools are using, and it's overwhelming to families. So we want to help support them in that way. And then the other side of it, workshops, not just academic. We also know that we need to give our families non-academic workshops. So self-care, and we know the importance of self-care because we are the best parents to our children when we take care of ourselves. So we want to give them those workshops, and also financial literacy and planning, because it's never too early or too late to start thinking about and planning for your child's professional pathway after high school. So we want to just be there for our families to help support them in those ways. And these are just a few things that we're thinking about as we continue to support our families. And we know through the continued guidance of God that we are just committed to continuing to develop our wonderful partnerships with our Impact Academy families.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So here's the thing. All of this is great. I love the way you all have laid it out. I love the fact that you've executed it all. And I'm sure that the people who are watching are also very appreciative to everything that you've done. And they appreciate not only that you've done it, but that success has followed it, because we need so much more of this. And I'm sure that the success has been confirmation to all of y'all that this is the right thing to do. Now, with that being said, here's the question. We are in the middle of a pandemic, right? Everybody is doing everything virtually now. If we weren't in a pandemic right now, we will all be in a studio or somewhere doing this in person, right? But we can't. So the question is, how are y'all doing all of this virtually? So you have, I wish this question, I want y'all to speak to this too. Somebody should speak to the fact that all of our scholars are not locally based. I think that's important for us to mention. And so that speaks to the power of this virtual age and being able to offer this virtually. So how are y'all doing all of this virtually? Because this is a lot to do, period, but it has to be a lot more virtually. So how are y'all getting this done?
Yes, Pastor, you are correct. As Nicole mentioned earlier, our first meeting was in August. So immediately we began to research software and resources that would allow us to provide the tools needed to establish and maintain a fully distanced one-to-one tutoring program. So that means each student has their own tutor. We're not in small groups right now. It's one-on-one. We have students all over the country as well as tutors all over the country. Our newest tutor is actually all the way over in California. So we are really nationwide, and we hope to be worldwide as we continue to expand. So starting off, when we were brainstorming, we knew we wanted to create a community vibe for signups. So like an easy way for tutors and families to connect without us constantly being like the middleman, so that we could best serve our scholars. So initially we were using Google Meets, and this was based on our research at the time, and it was manually paired up with a software we used for students and tutors picking their slots for each evening, called Sign Up Genius. So it was working good, but as we've grown and assessed, we've been able to move over to the Zoom platform, which is seamlessly integrated with Sign Up Genius and further removes us as the middleman. Calendars are integrated, and it's been great. It's been going very well. So as we receive feedback, we look to incorporate more programs, more applications per student's needs that Nichelle was mentioning earlier. So for each of our tutors, we'd also love to provide DocuCams, which is short for document cameras. And these devices make it easy for scholars to see exactly what the tutor is demonstrating. So like, for instance, if the tutor was working out an algebra problem, that would allow the student to see them step by step working it out. Whereas right now we take screenshots and we use share screen, but the DocuCams are like next level. We would love that. So when we speak of the logistics of the how, I really think I should also speak to the who and speak about the who. And I want to say that we are very grateful, very thankful for each and every educational gift that we have received, every sponsorship that has come through, all the love. I mean, they just continue to help propel Impact Academy further and meet the needs of our youth. And we're just very thankful. I mean, like, you just don't know. And educational gifts, they've come from far and wide. You guys know, from far and wide, and what the gifts entail are just as vast. It's not just monetary. Many gifters contribute monetarily, and we are very grateful. And they've come in the form of becoming tutors. Like I said, from not just here in Connecticut, but all over the country, down south, far west, everywhere. And it's also come in the form of sharing gifts, like creating infomedia and flyers for things that we have to put out. And it's been such a help to us. And it also maintaining our sign-up systems. So now we actually have someone who has come in, and it's not all on the 5 of us anymore. We have someone who's volunteering their time, and everyone is just so willing and so giving. We also have those sharing their expertise in the areas of scholar enrichment and curriculum building. We put that call out, and the call was answered the same day. And the outpouring is just, God is preparing us for our next steps, and we are so thankful. So I just had to share all of it, all the logistics.
All right, so if y'all did all of that, and did I hear, if I have it right, since March of 2020 or August of 2020, one of those?
August, really? Yeah, the full planning. It was in Jen's brain.
It was in my mind in March, and I was talking in March, but the planning started in August.
Yeah, right. Okay, all right. So if the planning started in August, and that happened in 5 months? 4 or 5 months? Yeah, so if
just hit 5 months.
That, then what is the plan for 2020? If you did all of that in 2020, what do y'all plan to accomplish in 2021?
So I'm going to speak to that. We have some plans, but honestly speaking, it's God's will. God has the ultimate plan, but we know that he has great things planned for Impact Academy. Many of the women, along with Pastor Porter, have alluded to a lot of the things that have taken place and will even take place. The mention of our SEL, our enrichment program. This will focus again on social and emotional learning and mindfulness and mindset growth and things of that nature. So that is something that obviously during this time is very important to us. And so we're really going to harvest those that curriculum and really collaborate with people in the greater Hartford area that are helping us develop a curriculum that really suits the needs of all of our scholars and their parents. Along with that, obviously, we have our tutoring, which will continue virtually. We're catering to grades K through 8, most as of the first quarter, grades K through 8, where we focus on STEM and the humanities. But we're glad to say that we are now looking to offer services for our 9 through 12 students, so our secondary or high school students. And in doing so, that will put us in a position to really service the students and their needs. So whereas with the K-8, as Mara mentioned, everything is on Sign Up Genius, but with our high schoolers, we know that they tend to have a wide range of curriculum, whether it be the humanities to STEM to electives such as music or art or things of that nature. So we're really hoping and wanting to offer that more catered and one-to-one idea when it comes to our high schoolers. And so with that being said, we're looking to service high schoolers, but we're also looking for professionals who work on the secondary level. We do have some great tutors who have been working and are specific to that age range. We actually just got a comment in the chat about someone who is a certified teacher who is willing and ready to work with us. So
Right.
God is already working. Yes, he's already starting to bless us. And so that is amazing. Obviously, we want to continue to grow. You know, this was something that we all kind of stepped out of our comfort zones. And we know that God tends to put us in positions that sometimes are uncomfortable, but in the end, you know, great things come from that, you know. And so with that being said, we want to grow enrollment. We want more tutors. We really would like to extend our scholarship as well as our students. So we want more scholars to come on board and really just put Impact Academy into the community. Speaking of the community, as I mentioned before, we've been collaborating with some phenomenal women in the greater Hartford area. One who is really helping us focus on grant writing. And obviously, when it comes to founding a school, right? And when you're looking to build a school, a lot of people may not know, but it's a process. It's a very long process, especially when you're working in excellence, right? We're destined for greatness. And so everything that we're doing, we're learning. All of us are learning. All of us are being able to add things to our quote unquote resumes, our spiritual resumes, our professional resumes. And grant writing is one of the things that we have been afforded the opportunity to do. With a local educator from the greater Hartford area. She's an administrator. She works in the greater Hartford area. So we're grateful for that opportunity. One of our very, how do I describe Mr. Stringer? He's such a great vessel for Impact Academy and Impact Church. And he put us in touch with a lot of people. Having been a former educator, he was able to put us in touch with some women who have been instrumental in getting our foot in the door with curriculum writing, right? Because eventually we would like to have our program, our curriculum, our school initiative be really sound and informative. And so thankful for Miss Patricia Mack, who has been working with us. We're so grateful for her. And really just looking forward to all of the things that God has in store for us in 2021. As I mentioned, we have these plans, but God's plans obviously have really taken the wheel, if for lack of better terms, because we couldn't imagine that we would be in this situation in August. I think when we all kind of got into this position, we didn't know what Jen had in store. We didn't know what God had in store. And so I was tasked with answering this question, and I'm so grateful because I'm optimistic, I'm prayerful. I think we are being obedient in what God has for us, and I look forward to all of the great things that are coming with Impact Academy and Impact Church.
I think we should all clap it up for the founders of Impact Academy, and y'all should give yourselves a hand. This has been absolutely amazing. I hope that you all are more clear about what Impact Academy is, what it has accomplished, and what it is believing by faith that God is going to allow it to do in the future. But before we leave, we want to make sure that if we didn't have any questions or give any information that you would like, that you would have an opportunity to ask your questions, receive some answers. I always say that sometimes Q&A should be Q&R. I think it's like question and response, because sometimes there's more that should happen than just the information that you ask for. And so I want to give an opportunity to those who are viewing us now, our live viewers. If you have any questions, please, ma'am, please, sir, upload your questions now. We're going to try to take the last few minutes to answer as many questions as we can. And so please feel free to begin to upload your questions now if you have any questions. And while you're uploading your questions, I want to ask y'all a question Anybody can answer it, and that is, what are some of the other states that we have scholars in?
South Carolina. I'll start off with one.
South Carolina?
And North Carolina.
And
North Carolina. Wow.
California.
Wow. And so if they're watching, we want to thank them for making Impact Academy a success and doing their part as well. Do we have any questions? Any of our questions loaded up yet?
Yes, we know we had a question. Oh, Mara, you want to go?
Mark Vereen asked how many scholars are currently registered, and currently we have 34 scholars registered. That's as of earlier today. It might be more now.
Wow.
I hope so. Yeah.
Did you have a question, Michelle?
I didn't have a question. I was going to respond to the question of our scholars, but definitely, folks, please ask your questions in the chat. We are here to answer all of your questions.
Let's see how many questions we come up with, because y'all were so clear. I think people are just like ready to tell somebody and make sure that the word is out on Impact Academy, because it's definitely more than a name and a brand now. People are more clear. So
Okay.
Thank God for that too.
Someone asked how many tutors we have and do we need more? Yes, we do need more. We currently have 9 tutors. They specialize in K-8. And now that we are expanding into 9-12, we definitely are looking for more tutors. Yes, please. Yes, please.
The thing that makes us so different is that we're one-to-one. So it's not like your child is paired with anyone. They're getting that undivided one-on-one attention. And we give 30-minute blocks of time for kindergarten through K through
5, yeah.
5 is 30 minutes. And then there's 45 minutes sessions that we give from 6 to 8 in the, we're out 45 minutes to an hour from 6 to 8. So with that one-on-one time, we like to spread it so our tutors don't have so many people on one day. So yes, we are always looking for tutors because we just want to give that undivided attention to each of our scholars.
And like Mara said, you know, the tutors are across the country, California, North Carolina. So we are definitely, if you know an educator or someone who just loves teaching children that are interested in helping tutor our scholars, please send them over to our page. It doesn't matter if they're in New York, Arizona, Washington State, it doesn't matter. Because of the platform that we have, they can definitely be a tutor and be a blessing to our scholars.
Got you. And where do they go for that information again, Michelle?
They go to our Impact Church website, and on the Impact Church page, there's a tab right at the top for Impact Academy. Click on that tab, scroll a little ways down, and you can fill out an application to be a tutor.
We have 2 questions in the comments in the chat. We do have 2 questions. One was, do we service students with exceptional needs? And yes, we do. We by no means do not, we do not turn away scholars. We do not put ourselves in a position to where we're not equipped to service all scholars. To be honest, having worked in education, before we even know anything about our scholars, we all know they're capable. And so to answer that question, we do. If there are, parents who have students with exceptional needs, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We do like to service, and we do service those types of students. Someone asked what types of materials, and the questions are really starting to come in. So someone's asking what types of materials yes, I need y'all to look at your phones. So someone asked, because I can't scroll and look, but someone asked about materials. Let me see. Miss Pamela Alston asked about materials, as well as Mark Vereen. And yes, so we obviously are working remotely. We work virtually. And so, yes, as mentioned, we do use whiteboards. We have dry erase markers that are needed, all types of educational resources. But at this point, we really find find the best, not the best value in giving and thoughts that we need. Obviously, our information to share and give is actually pinned. You can mail things, obviously, composition notebooks, as I mentioned, markers and highlighters, number 2 pencils, all of those things are definitely needed. And so thank you all. And yes, and yes.
Yeah, Mark actually asked if we had any, if I'm reading this correct, Mark, can you type in the chat if I got it? I believe you're asking if we physically have materials that you can get to hand out to your other educators. And yes, we do. We have a pamphlet that's already made up and drawn up with every detail that we discussed thus far on this chat. And we actually could print them out. We have them printed out. We can hand them out during our service. And you know, we're virtual right now, and we're going to be meeting every so often in person. But if there's the likelihood that you want to come by and pick up a pamphlet, then you can email the church at impactchurch2020@gmail.com, and we could set that up where you can get the materials to hand out to other educators. In the meantime, I'm scrolling through some other questions. Are there any other volunteers? Sheena Scott is asking, are there any other volunteers sought other than teachers, for instance, a school social worker or mentors? We are open to any and everyone, as long as you go through the process, get your background check and everything is clear, then there's space for you. There's space for any and everyone. I think at this moment, I can talk about the fact that I think all of us can attest to the fact that 2020 was one of the hardest years and one of the unpredictable years that we've all gone through, where we did not know that this was coming. And we still don't know what the future may hold, but as much as we hold tight to our faith and believing that we're going to get through all of this, in the same breath, I think everyone would agree with me in saying that this has truly has been a blessing. If this pandemic didn't happen, if this didn't happen, if we weren't shut down, if we weren't made in a way to sit down and think about our thoughts, our goals, our visions, none of this could have ever taken place. So even though these are hard times, we're still grasping on the fact that this is a blessing. This is great. Everything that has transpired because of this pandemic is amazing. We're able to touch and reach people, not only in our circle or in our community, but so much further. So everyone going through this with us, hold tight to your faith and keep on pushing through. Somebody else want to look through their phone and get some questions?
I wanted to go back to the social work, definitely with the SEL that we're going to be beginning. That'll definitely be an area of expertise that we are looking to for help and for volunteers for. It's really important. Like, a lot of us have a special ed background and the social work background, but again, with us planning and going forward, we definitely need individuals to help with those one-on-one sessions that we will have and then the SEL enrichment groups that we will have. So yes, please send your information. And again, if you go onto our website, the same way that you register for a scholar is the same way you would register to be a tutor, and you would just put in the notes there that you would like to help in other facets such as the SEL program. So you can definitely do that as well. And again, just while we're live, I also just want to give a special shout out and thank you to our current tutors that we have. We have special bonds with all of them. We really reach out to you. You are considered family to us. We communicate on a regular basis. And when you do work with us, you're never alone. And I want to really emphasize that. Every time that we have sessions, which are Monday through Thursday, there is a founder with you. We contact you before the session. We have text messaging with you that we're available throughout the time. If there's a question or a problem you ever have, we are able to access and to log in to where you are to help. So know that you are never alone when you are with Impact Academy. You are a part of our family. So we just want to just extend that out as well and let you know that this is a learning platform, and we are here to help everyone.
Any more questions?
Yeah, there's more.
Question.
Okay.
One more. Mika Love asked if we were in need of someone with a financial literacy background or willing to teach. And so, yes, Mika, we are for preteens. Yes, we are. That's definitely on our list for preteens as well as parents. That's one of our workshops that we desire to put out. So yes, please.
She said, are we offering?
Are we offering?
Any educators offering financial literacy for preteens?
I was thinking, and they're
yes.
willing to volunteer, but yes, it's on our list.
Other question. You said we got a lot, Nicole?
I thought we did, but there's a lot of back claps and awesome jobs.
I'm sure wants to know though, because I'm sure there's somebody out there that's saying, you know, I may not have a child, may not be a parent, or my children are grown, they're adults, I've raised them already, but I love what Impact Academy is doing, and I want to know how I can help. If I want to make a donation, if I want to send some supplies, you know, how do I do that? And so can somebody give us the information as to how Impact Academy can be supported with certain gifts and donations, if you will? Where would people send that? How would they get it done?
If someone would like to make an educational gift to Impact Academy, you can send it via Givelify. And you would look up Impact Church International. You would see our church emblem. Also by Cash App, Impact Give, and you would just put in the memo Impact Academy. And you can also mail your gifts to P.O. Box 4589, and that's in Hartford, Connecticut 06147. And you would just earmark it Impact Academy. We thank you. We are so appreciative for each and every gift. And so if someone wanted to, I don't know, sponsor a scholar, right? If I wanted to sponsor a scholar, I wanted to make sure that some scholar who perhaps needed Impact Academy, which I think every scholar does, but if someone really needed and wanted to be a part, and I said, you know, my family, we would like to sponsor a child to ensure that some child who may not be able to financially, you know, handle the responsibility, some family, how would I do that? What is there a price point for that? Do I need to get in touch with Impact Academy to see what that looks like? How does that work?
Yes, that is something that you can definitely reach out to Impact Academy for. There are different ways that you can sponsor a scholar. You can sponsor them for a week, a month, but there's different levels depending on what the need is. So if you reach out to Impact Academy, you can email us or you can email the church and they will get it over to us and we can talk specifics about that, but there is no gift that's too small or too large to give to Impact Academy. And any educational gift or any sponsorship for a child is definitely appreciated.
Got you. I thought that was important to mention because you all mentioned that you did some really great things, offered some really great services, not just the tutoring. I heard something about a toy drive. I heard something about a book bag giveaway. And so I just want everyone to be clear that they heard exactly what I heard. And that was that you were able to do great things because of the support that you're receiving from the outside community. And so sometimes people don't have children or, you know, they may not know people with children, but it may just maybe something that they want to do to help out. And so we want to make it possible for everyone to do whatever they can to make sure that Impact Academy maintains its success. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are there more questions? All right. So
we're always here if you have questions.
We do have questions?
I said we're always here if they have questions. We're always here and available.
Where were those questions, Jen?
Sorry.
2020 at gmail.com.
Yeah, right. Impact Academy K-12 at gmail.com.
Or you can always do it Impact Church 2020.
Email the church, yes.
Come on, let's say it one more time so it's clear.
Impact Academy K-12 at gmail.com. And if you don't remember the school email address, you can always email us at the church at impactchurch2020 at gmail.com. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice. Ladies, thank y'all so much for your time. Thank you for your effort. If you're watching us in the comments, clap it up for all of these founders. We appreciate you. We thank you for each and every one of you who viewed us tonight. We're grateful for you too. Here's to another great year of Impact Academy. May God take us higher as we have that it can happen. Y'all have a great night. Logging on. Peace.
Good night.
Night.